All right. Looks like we are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first stream in a long time that I have done. I almost forget how to do this. It's been so long. I'm happy to join you this evening. This is the playing with real hardware tonight. This is a all request NES stream. So while we're sort of waiting for people to filter in, we'll play a little bump and jump. This is I believe that this is the pinnacle of bump and jump. Of course, I believe that it was originally known in the arcade as Burnin' Rubber. And to be quite honest, the arcade game, the original arcade game, doesn't really look the best. I was never a fan of the graphics on the original arcade machines. One occasion where the NES version's graphics trumped the arcade original. Although in the arcade version's defense, it's a much earlier game. I believe that the original Bump and Burn came out maybe 1982 or 1983. Ooh. Hit with the garbage there. And this version came out 88, I think. We'll check the copyright screen again. But I just the graphics in this are much more akin to a game that would have come out in the late 80s. Similar to something like Micro Machines or something like that. But I've always liked the kind of pastoral setting. Hey, Retro Gaming Bygones, Adam. How's it going, man? Just playing some bump and jump. I like games that have these kind of pastoral settings, I guess maybe is the wrong word, but games that look like they're set in a real place, not some like urban hellscape or, you know, featureless wasteland. But it's like, this looks like a city that people live in, you know? It's not super repetitive. I mean, of course they're using the same tile set, but you know, the first stage is sort of on a lakefront property. Now we're going into the city. The third stage, oops, I'm not going to make this jump because oh man, I'm surprised I did that. The third stage is almost like a Florida beach town. At least that's the way I've always thought about it. So now you do get a bonus in this game by not smashing any cars or smashing as many as you can. So you really have to shoot the moon. Yeah. Now, had you played the arcade version of this Retro? Bump and Burn, as it was known, I'm pretty sure. Or maybe Bump and Burn is an Amiga game, but maybe Burnin' Rubber was the name of the arcade version. I'm starting to lose my mind. I sound like Aaron. I love this music too. Different tracks. Oh, almost got the bonus by landing on her. She's giant, by the way. But having a different track or a different music track on every course is super cool too. This is kind of like a, you know, kind of a nice groove. And again, I always think about this as like the Florida beach town or something. There's palm trees and everything all over the place. I can't beat this level, by the way. I've never been able to beat it. All right, we'll give it one. I think I might be able to. It doesn't look like I can continue, but we're gonna give this one more go, just so we can see how. I'm gonna give it my all this time. But yeah, I guess yeah. This is really almost like when you drive to New Orleans. You come across this bridge, and I'm sure there's bridges like this all over the world, but this is the one that I always think of. And it's this bridge that's literally like a mile long or so. That's not an auspicious start to this. You only get 3 lives in this game, and there's no adding extra lives, at least as far as I'm aware. So this is it's a difficult game, at least it is for me, to get any further than I normally get. That third level is just a killer, and Well, it's our last chance. Hey, retro gaming, bygones. You have a NES request, man? Doing all requests tonight on the old NES. This is real hardware, by the way. You can see I've got the actual pad and everything. We've got an EverDrive though, so I can play whatever you want. You know, one of the things on in the NES was that it had so few sound channels, but the people that were really good at writing for it could integrate the sound effects and the music to where you do notice channels dropping out, but it doesn't really hinder your ability to enjoy the music. River City Ransom, man. Yeah, man. I'll fire that up. That's a good one. As I lose this last life. I really love this tune. This is probably my favorite of all of them. This was, you know, when I got the Nintendo, this was not my first gaming system. I had the Atari 8-bit computer. But the Nintendo was the first system that I really lusted after. I grew up just in that perfect time, you know, to be totally manipulated by Nintendo's ad campaigns. I used to have dreams of just, you know, playing the Nintendo. I wanted one so bad. Oops, I've incorrectly maneuvered the EverDrive. River City Ransom, there we go. Of course, this game was known as street gangs, I think maybe street gangs. In Japan, and they renamed it to River City Ransom. Late title card. Of course, we've got those immediately identifiable Technos characters that are in so many great games. My personal favorite, I know that Super Dodgeball is a big cult classic. I never really got into that, but the World Class, or what is it called? World Cup Soccer? It's the game that was bundled with the 4-score accessory along with Super Spike V-Ball, a volleyball game. Also a Technos game, and I love they're the same sort of characters playing soccer. Of course, this is a classic example of an early crossover between the beat-em-up genre and the RPG genre. You can purchase upgrades for your character, health, stamina increases, things like that. Really ahead of its time. I never played River City Ransom DX, which was the Game Boy Advance remake of this game, but I always heard it was excellent. Is that who made this? Kunio-kun? Aside from the biggest of the big names, like Miyamoto and Kojima, I don't really know a lot of the really famous Japanese developers. I just thought this was so cool, being able to just drop in and order stuff. It would have been nice to be able to know what these things actually do for you, but let's try a coffee. Okay, willpower is up. Stamina, max power. Not too bad. 95 cents. There's bookstores you can go into. Bakery. Got myself a honey bun. It's an Amigo Aaron favorite. And these are, I guess these you take with you, and then you access them from some menu. I'm not exactly sure how to get to that, to be honest with you. A lot of these are always mega expensive. think we're gonna go with the Aero Circus. Oh, no. Okay, bye. Alright, and then we're right back at it. The frat guy's turf. Ooh. I always wonder about, you know, the localizations. Like, I don't know that frat guys have any particular meaning to Japanese people, and I wonder what it was translated as to them. So when I hit select, it takes me to the money screen, but I tried once. Let me take these guys are the AI is the pathfinding's a little off. So if I hit select, I don't know else what else would I push next? What do I push next? Jock's turf here. I love the way the guys bum rush you. Oh, I'm getting destroyed. The whip is by far the best. Yeah, the chain whip is by far the best thing here. Start, then select. Okay, we'll give that a go. Unless I die here. Start. Oh, there we go. It's start. I don't know why I never thought to hit start. Look at all this stuff. Okay, well, let's eat this honey bun. That didn't really do much for me. Okay, well, I've learned Aero Circus. Oh, there's our... Man, there's a password. That's crazy. I've played this game zillions of times and I've never thought to hit start. You can change the level mid-game. What status? You got all your stats. I mean, this is really impressive. This is really cool stuff. All right. So now we just need to leave. Okay. I need to get out of here. I need to get to a place where I can heal. That's the end of me. Okay, so it looks like I can continue from where I left off, which is nice. Not really sure how to pull off the Aero Circus. I thought it was A and B together. The manual probably explains a lot of this stuff. You lose half your... Okay, so it's the standard RPG deal. Oh. Look at all these chain whips. Just like piling up over there. Run, then AB. Okay, you probably can't have a weapon in your hand, so... Wait, we'll throw that at somebody. Okay, run. Oh yeah, there's the old Aero Circus. Oh, it doesn't work when you run into a set of brass knuckles, though. The music is so sedate compared to the action. But that's one thing, I mean, people get tired, I'm sure people get tired of me talking on Amigos about, I rag on the system for not having in-game sound for so many games, or in-game music. But that was such an integral part of the experience for me growing up with the NES, is that you always had background music. And it just seems like, I don't know, it's like watching a movie without an orchestral score. Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse? Yeah, man. We'll give that a go. Wishbone. You know, this is of all the Castlevanias, this is the one that I've played the least. Oops. Misconfigured the EverDrive again. How you doing this evening, Wishbone? Now this is one that I believe I'm not going to get all of the channels of music that's present on the Japanese version, because it had that extra chip on it that you only get with the real cartridge, of course, through emulation. I remember when this came out, it was a huge deal. It got a huge spread in Nintendo Power. Chilling like a villain, smoking the green, drinking. This was definitely a return to form for Castlevania games after Castlevania 2, which was so much different than the original. I mean, it's really a unique game. And it definitely has its merits and its things that are not so great about it. I've thought about getting a Famicom several times, retro, and I may end up with one of these days. I love the way it looks. You know, the problem is that at the end of the day, you really need the Famicom. And where would I put it? Oops. And here we go. It's that famous Castlevania feeling. I'd probably go with the gold and the red. Gold and the red, the original, and then get it modded with AV outputs. You can buy those all day on eBay. You know, there's people have whole industries where they're selling these things. But I like the NES too. You know, the NES is the so right now surrounding me. I don't know if you can see it. So I've got the Amiga 1000, and I've got an Amiga 600 sitting next to it, and then I've got the Atari 1200 XL directly in front of me. I'll kind of show you. There's the 600, there's the Atari 1200 XL, and then the NES is sitting underneath that lamp right there. So that's sort of like my systems that I keep out and ready all the time, although the 1702, the Amiga 1000 is sitting underneath, is currently busted. It's broken in some way. Aaron thinks he can fix it, which I totally believe he can. We're just waiting on the next Taze Valley Classic Computer Club meeting to hash all that stuff out, which I'm happy to report will probably be happening at the end of June. It's been a long time since we've been able to gather in person for the Taze Valley Classic Computer Club. That's right, Retro. I understand, you know, Aaron just doesn't have the same feeling for the NES because he was just sort of too old for it. It's almost sort of like the way I feel about the N64, or even to a lesser extent the Super Nintendo, where there's people, you can't really even call them kids anymore. There's grown people that grew up playing the N64, and that is their thing. That's what they have the most nostalgia for. Look at these rotating things. Oh, jeez. It's just brutal. This is a brutal game. Then you're fighting your way back. You're getting hit by the Medusa anyway. I am also just shy of 40. I turned 40 in July. So we are about the same age, Retro. I don't think Sega is going to be in the hardware business anymore, except for marketing its previous things. I think people are looking to exit the hardware business more than get into it these days. You know, Sega just sold their Western arcade division, so they're getting out of all the fronts You're still going to see Sega's name on things, but they've sold their rights. We covered that on a story on This Week in Retro a couple weeks ago. You'll have to remind me what the Spartan is, Wishbone, because I cannot. I think I've heard of that before, but I can't remember exactly what it is. Okay, Retro. So yeah, you're younger. So you're the same age as my wife. She'll be 39 in no, she just turned 39. I take it back. She turned 39 in April. All right. You know, this game would be 100% less horrible if you didn't get blown back. You know, of course that's the classic complaint about these games. Just whenever you get hit and get knocked back, usually into a cliff or something like that. I think you should be able to. I think we've got links turned on. Yeah, it is. It's all about timing. It's all about practice. These games are beatable. So we'll take advantage of a save state there just in case. I swear they line up on purpose. There we go. Yeah. I've suddenly become much younger and much more handsome. That's what's happened, Frank. Yeah, Aaron is off tonight. I think he's actually on. He's currently playing Roblox with his kid, I think. And he asked me if I'd do a little something tonight, so I thought I'd go back to my old favorite, the Nintendo Entertainment System. And I always like using the real hardware. So we're playing some Castlevania 3. Look at this little guy. Oh man. Grab that. I swear these guys are built to avoid your whip. They're no good. Thank you. Thank you. I got that from a dear friend of mine. I just want to be I wonder what his life is like, that little imp guy. You know, he spent his whole life just waiting for me to come along. Now, if I hit continue, oh, I'm all the way back at the beginning. That's insane. That's insane. So we'll go ahead and load. See, I really should have saved after I went through that door. I didn't realize I was out of lives. Everything about that was wrong. Okay. Mega Man 2. I'm on it. You don't have to tell me twice. Greatest soundtrack in video game history, Mega Man 2. Now you're going to have to help me with the monster order, or the robot order, because I always forget it. Does anybody... I know that Metal Man is the first one. This is also one of the most epic... I mean, think about it. This is 1988 in Japan. I just love this intro. Now, of course, you know, the Amiga has tons and tons and tons of great intros. But the on the consoles, you really didn't get something cinematic like this. Metalwood Air Bubble. All right, here we go. It's starting to pick up. Look at that parallax. It's freaking NES power. I'm not familiar with the Beetle Adventure Racing intro, Wishbone. Alright, here we go. Metal Man. On it. Yeah, I didn't play a whole lot of N64 other than the Mario games like Mario Party. Really the first party games. So to me, this is an example of a near perfect platformer. Or yeah, I guess you could call it a run and gun. I don't know if it's a classic platformer in the Mario sense, since you do have a gun. But it's great, whatever you want to call it. Tons of flicker on the NES, if you didn't know. I always thought about these things being like corn when I was a kid, just like corn drills. Extra man, I'll take that. Yeah, I remember when Aaron and Brent covered that on ARG, Wish. I've never given it a go. Maybe I'll do an N64 stream somewhere down the line. Look at these guys, little clowns. Robot clown. No, I don't have a TurboGrafx Wishbone. The only consoles I currently own are a NES, an Atari 7800. I've got an N64, but I don't have any controllers for it or the power supply. It was basically something that I couldn't. I went back and I sold a bunch of stuff, but I didn't sell that because nobody wanted it. It was so it's just a conversation piece. I do have a Pong unit that is unoperational. I got several of those that just kind of look cool. But yeah, it's funny. I went from being almost completely console-centric to being computer-centric almost 100%. Because if you think about the computers that are down here, I've got the Amiga 1000, the 600, the Amstrad, Spectrum 48K, Spectrum Plus 2, and a C64 or 3. So I always just try and brute force this guy, which might not be the wisest move. Nope, that wasn't the wisest move. Oh, bad move, Retro. Not that the 7800 has a bunch of bad games, but it's got just the dirt worst controller. I mean, the dirt worst. Even the most diehard fans of the 7800 will admit that. You know, the SG 1000, of course, it was not released here. But the Master System was. But everybody seems like they had a friend that had the Master System, but I never even knew anybody. I knew people that had computers. I knew people that had like a C64, sort of on the periphery. I never actually saw them, but. Oh yeah, way worse than the 5200 Retro. Because at least the 5200 controller, I mean, they broke all the time. But the controller itself, like, it wasn't bad. Like, the 7800 controller is really the only controller I can think of that has zero redeeming features. Like, at least with the 5200 controller, you could do some cool stuff with the analog stick, you know? The 7800, the stick is garbage, the buttons are garbage, and it's uncomfortable to hold. All right, where are we going next? I can't, we've already scrolled by. Got to scroll back up here. Wood is next. Woodman. Thank you. I've been wanting to do a Mega Man 2 Endurance stream for a while anyway, so. This is my favorite. This is the first game, and probably the only game, that I actually held a tape recorder up to and taped, so I could listen to the soundtrack when I was, like, out and about. I remember I got my first Walkman around the time that I played this for the first time. and like ride my bike up and down the street, listening to tapes. Oh yeah, I was a total hipster when I was 8. I didn't get a NES actually till I was, I think it was 1990, maybe it was 1990, maybe I was 9. But I might have been 10, it might have been 9, it might have been 91. I'm leaning probably towards 91. Because I remember it wasn't long after I got the NES that the rumblings of the Super Nintendo started coming, and that made me sad, because I was like forever behind. Then a couple of years later I got the Super Nintendo, but even though I love the Super Nintendo, it never recaptured the magic of the NES. For me, the Super Nintendo was a Mario Kart / JRPG machine. Versus the NES, I played anything and everything on this thing. You know, sports games. I mean, it's still probably my Desert Island console. Hey, Dated Dog. What's up, Zeb? How's it going, man? You were born in 92, Wishbone? Yeah, well, I was right there with you, you know. We had an old IBM 8088, like CGA machine, all the way up until 1995. So, my first modern computer I didn't have until I was in high school. All through elementary and middle school, we had, like I said, we had the Atari, and then we had this old 8088. So that's why I always thought that PC games were lame, because I just didn't know any better. And also, they sort of were lame, but. I think the biggest thing, you know, obviously I had no interaction with an Amiga. Oh, why am I not using the metal beam? Yeah, I was dumb. Yep, you're way ahead of me. All right, let's try it again, shall we? Here. Okay, let's not mess this up, shall we? It's time to get equipped with the leaf shield. Heck yeah. Yeah, I don't know where I stand on that whole thing, Wishbone. Where are we going next, Retro? I can't remember what the boss order is. Air. I remember this being annoying. Is it going to disappear, or is it there forever? I guess it's there forever. This always sort of reminded me of the stage 4 in Super Mario Bros. 2, like the ice stage. If you ever watch people speedrun this game, It looks nothing like what I'm doing. It's crazy to think about that there were 6 Mega Man games for the original NES. I mean, there's not a whole lot of games that come out with 5 sequels on one system. I mean, there's tons of games that have 5 sequels, obviously. But on one console, can you guys think of any game that got 5 sequels on one console? If you think about, like, Final Fantasy series, they got 2 games on the SNES, 2 games on the PlayStation 1. No. 3, 7, was 8? Was 8 on the PlayStation 1 or was it on PS2? And then 10 was definitely on PS2, so yeah, I'm sure 8 was also. So 7, 8, 9, PS1. 10 and 11 maybe on PS2. Taking it nice and easy with this guy. Just come out firing. Now hopefully he won't respawn on the circle back around. I don't think he will. He did. Alright, so we gotta... That's tricky. And then you gotta make that jump into Nowheresville. That's a good place for a save state. You definitely want to shoot those eggs before they hatch all over you. Although, that was a good drop. Ten, 10, 2, and 11. Okay. That's when, after 11 is where my memory gets hazy. The last Final Fantasy game I played was 10. And I was not a huge fan of it. I loved 9, though. I thought 9 was, of course, sort of the swan song to the traditional Final Fantasy game. They all changed after 9. Oh, dang it. Alright, well, we're going to move on. Mega Man 2, all-time classic. Always looking for requests, if anybody has any they would like to see. Some things I've never heard of before. Kiwi Craze. Let's try this one out. So it's a Untitled game. All right, we'll do Kung Fu next, retro. Oh, this is the New Zealand story, just retitled as Kiwi Craze. So I believe that this is at least somewhat tangentially related to the Bubble Bobble series. Although I'm not exactly sure how. This is definitely not as pretty as the Amiga version. The NES just couldn't do the amount of colors that were necessary. Yeah, my RPG playing days are well behind me now at this point. Wish. I just don't have the time to devote to that sort of thing anymore. I think, isn't RuneScape, isn't that like a, sort of like a top-down, almost like a Dwarf Fortress type thing? Or am I thinking of RimWorld? Oh, okay, so this is it, So it's more like a Final Fantasy Tactics type thing. This is a wacky experience here. I'm not even sure what I'm riding on. All right, we're moving on. Kung Fu. So this was really one of the first games that I remember being floored by when I saw it. I couldn't believe this was so far beyond anything that I'd played on the Atari in terms of the speed and the animation. I mean, the animation is very simple, but just watching the guy kick, it was just beyond anything that I'd seen before. Oh yeah. Nothing like those sampled yelps. Hey Dave, how's it going, man? Okay, here comes the first challenger. Oh. You just gotta crowd the heck out of this guy. Bam. Oh. And you just gotta deal with the rest of the flunkies. Yeah, this is one of the good ones. Well, you want to avoid getting hit in the head with a vase, just in life in general. I remember this was one of the games that when I first started collecting the black box games for the NES, I wanted this one first. And at the time it was still pretty cheap. Even now, it's not crazy. Man, I've gotten horrible at this. I used to be able to nail those every time. I don't know. I want to say that they haven't. I think that they're always 30 seconds. But I could be wrong. They just seem like they take forever. Because on YouTube, well, I don't get YouTube ads anymore because I started paying for premium, but like YouTube ads are very rarely that long. No, 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 no. I've already... Just let me be. Okay. Ah! There we go. Because none of that stuff works all the time. And I don't want to put a bunch of stuff on my computer. And it lets me play stuff on my phone and put my phone to sleep. And 12 bucks a month is not a whole lot. I wonder what that tells you about the quality of our streams, Dave. Yeah. Everybody's different, Bone. You got your thing, man. You keep on doing it. Hey Dave, did you see the Amigathon streaming schedule? I hope you can get in on that, man. We need some West Coast people to represent, to take over for us after we go off the air. We're hoping to just basically extend the stream so it stretches around the world, you know, going backwards. Well, not really backwards, it's just, oh my gosh, yeah, no prayer with the amount of health that I had there. I'll go ahead and do a save here. But what we were envisioning is having Flack and you know, take over afterwards, and then go on to Australia, maybe get Graham involved or somebody to stream over there, and then just keep working our way back towards Europe. And and then going the full 24-hour span. I think that would be super cool. Oh! I don't accept that game over. We're loading that save state, baby. Alright, I gotta catch up on the chat real quick. Awesome. Awesome, man. Hey, Aaron. How's it going, man? It's all NES all the time. I'm sure that you wouldn't expect anything less. I saw you were on the old Roblox earlier. Figured you were getting some loot time in. Could you imagine being in a situation like this where you have two knife-wielding assassins coming at you from both sides and somehow their knives don't hurt each other? That would be a weird situation to be in. I don't think I've ever actually gotten past this floor, by the way. I think this is always where I die. No, I take it back. I think I've beat this before, because I think this is there's one more floor after this. Oh yeah, there's two more floors. I don't know what I'm saying. All I know is I just got wrecked by that guy. One punch, just bam, right in the face. Yeah, they hug you to death. Oh, give me some of that sweet, sweet action. All right, so that's Kung Fu. Always a good time. Looking for that next game, guys. We got time for one more. One more game on the stream this evening. Make it a good one. We can do some wacky European. I don't know what the European stuff is, or if it's even any different than the US releases. Super Metroid Azole? I don't know about... well, Super Metroid is only on the Super Nintendo, unfortunately. I'm not sure about Super Metroid Azole. That sounds like something wacky. Is there a version of Monty Mole? Now, that would be worth checking out. I don't know how to actually... Let's see. Oops. I'm pushing all kinds of buttons. We're just going to reset the system before I break the EverDrive. Okay, here we go. Monty Mole. No, unfortunately. There is a Mr. Gimmick, though, if that is helpful to you. Bayou Billy? We can do Bayou Billy. Actually, I want to check out Mr. Gimmick. My curiosity is piqued. I'm almost certain Mr. Gimmick did not get a North American release. Well, it's a Sunsoft game. Sunsoft usually gold. Okay, so you're familiar with Mr. Gimmick. Interesting. This is... Bayou Billy does use the gun, but you have to get further than I can get in the game to use the gun. But I do have the gun ready and waiting. Look at this. That's going to be my next stream, is the NES games you've never heard of. Just get over. Look at this. What's going on here? This is frightening. This is a very involved introduction. Maybe you have. Maybe I'm an idiot. Maybe Mr. Gimmick was all over the place. I just don't recall it. I don't recall Mr. Gimmick. Maybe once we get into the gameplay. So this is authentic entertainment, realistic, another world. That doesn't make any sense. Okay? This certainly looks NES-like. Okay, here we go. It's one of these. It's like Kirby. This is wacky, and I'm not sure what's going on with the bottom of the screen. There's definitely some glitchiness going on here. Oh. Okay, so that bounces up like that. Oh, that's not a pipe you want to jump into. Yeah, we're getting some major issues going on the bottom of the screen here. I do not think it's supposed to look like that. And then it's the old instant death by spikes. Okay. I don't have the, I'm not in the right frame of mind to tackle a game like that. That's intense. We're going to do some Bayou Billy before we wrap things up this evening. Just Europe. Okay. Ah! I always forget. How do you spell that? Bayou. B-A-Y-O-U. B-A... Why is it not here? Oh, it's because it's the Adventures of Bayou Billy. Right? Right. Good night, Data Dog. See you later, man. Thanks for stopping by. All right. So in the practice mode, I believe that you can practice the gun game. Yeah. I'm going to grab my gun. We're going to do some gunning. Just so you can see what that looks like. Because I'll never be able to get to the part where you actually would do this in the real game. So I believe that the common course of action is to plug the zapper into controller port 2. So we'll give that a go. Okay. Here we go. It's time. So, shoot 'em up game A. Bam. I'm a freaking crack shot. This is, I don't know what to think about this. I mean, it is cool that they put this in here. But it's, the guys are, I mean, it's your typical heavy barrel type thing, except for the fact that there's no, you're not picking up extra guns or rapid fire or ammo or anything. You're just basically just like shooting these guys as they come across the screen. I don't even know if there's an end. Surely there's got to be an end, right? Okay. Now something's going to happen because the scrolling stopped. Health pickup. Yeah, I am. I'm the best with guns. I won't be afraid of Gordon. Don't worry. Okay. All right, so that was game A. Let's see what shooting game B brings to the table. Yeah, shooting game B is the same as A, except you use the controller. Lame. Okay, so let's just play the actual game now. I think maybe they do have the driving mode. Yeah, the action driving game. So, well, okay. This is, it's not bump and jump anymore. You die when you hit another car, and then that's the end. All right. With that in mind, let's see if I can bomb the crap out of this thing. Come on, purple Jeep. Show me what you got. Ah! I'm afraid to get too close to the purple Jeep. It's driving erratically. All right, that's lame. We're leaving that. All right, game A. Here we go. This is the real deal now. So, Aaron, you're exactly right. You hit the nail on the head. This is a great looking cover, and it's a pretty poor beat 'em up. It pales in comparison to games like Double Dragon. I mean, here we are with just the first guy, and he's giving me grief. Look at his kick. That's like the low kick from Spinal, that Killer Instinct character. Or it's like me trying to kick in karate class. It is better than Amiga Outrun. I'm having more fun with this than I am Amiga Outrun, but a big thing about beat 'em ups is when you hit characters, like the way that they react needs to be like, you need to be able to see more of a reaction. Like when you hit these guys, they sort of like cower, but then they're right back at you. They need to stop moving and allow you to pummel them. Like that's what makes it like a good final fight game, is when you see that. Like, these are just normal doofuses. They're taking way too many hits to kill. And there's no advantage to using the punch either. Like, the punch isn't any stronger, and the range isn't any bigger. Oh man, there's the meat. I need that. Oh, that was a lifesaver, literally. Okay. Now we get to the fun platforming section of the beat 'em up. Everybody loves platforming sections. Jumping platforms in a side-scrolling beat 'em up. Who? No idea what I'm supposed to be doing here. Because I cannot clear. Oh yeah, you can go in the water, I forgot. Random bird. Look at this guy. He's been waiting his whole life to throw that rock. Seems that I cannot pick up that rock. I'll pick that up. Yeah. Oh yeah. All right, it's go time now. At least the music's decent again, too. Oh! The old glow dart. Yeah, these guys are made of steel. Well, that was Bayou Billy. My opinion on this game has not changed. And with that, guys, we're going to close up the stream for this evening. Amigo Aaron will surely be back next week with his regularly scheduled stream. But I've done the best I could with what I know. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me this evening. And I will see you guys later on down the line. Have a great weekend. We'll see you tomorrow for the TeamSpeak regulars over on twitch.tv/ARGpresents. Adios, everybody.